We are live. Welcome everyone to Essential Oils Monday. I'm Laura Rubinstein here with the awesome and fabulous Stephanie Gunning. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm looking up all the different remedies in this book for coughs and colds and just simple self-care, right? I mean, there's nothing that makes me feel more vulnerable than when I get a head cold, honestly.
I know, you take your health for granted sometimes, and then it's like, boom, you're down for the count, and it's like, oh my gosh, why didn't I wash my hands right after I talked to somebody or shook their hand or whatever? It's like it could have been so preventable.
Right, at the gym or something, touching the machine. You
Yeah.
know, we don't really want to isolate ourselves, but in the middle of the winter when it gets cold, um, flu definitely spikes. Head colds definitely spike. It definitely affects us somehow physiologically and makes us more susceptible. I actually think one of the reasons people get more head colds is because we spend more time indoors
Hmm.
and the air isn't circulating as much. So if you're outdoors and you're breathing a lot of fresh air, I think your immune system can kind of handle it. But it's that recycled air, the dust, moisture, any kind of mold, whatever, but once you've got it, you got to go through it. It's one of those eternal things. Like every head cold, it's like you've been having a head cold since the last head cold.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
it
going,
seems like when one person gets it in the office or in your family, you're way more likely to get it. I mean, we know this is not rocket science, but we have some ways to prevent it or to help prevent it. I don't know that we can guarantee that or anything, but
no,
uh,
that's true.
it's certainly, I noticed that I got the family cold this season, and yes, I was indoors a little bit more, and it didn't wasn't that long, and I had a lot of energy through it because I was doing so much preventative treatments of this. And
That's great. Yeah.
I'll tell you, one of them was washing my hands, but the other one was if I didn't have a sink handy, I was squirting the On Guard mist, sanitizing mist, whenever I could. So I keep that in my purse. It's a great little, um, handy dandy sanitizer. It doesn't have any of the bad stuff in it. You just keep it, and then it's fun because I got to give it to other people, right? They're like, I like, you want some? Do you want some?
I know, right? It's like a very sociable thing
And it
to
smells good. People like it.
mutually share hand spray.
It smells like winter, it's got the clove and the cinnamon and the, a little bit of orange, I think, in there. So it's really delightful. It's not one of those weird, just medicine-y smelling
Right.
things, right?
Right.
So I think that's a really huge way to do it. And then I would come home and I'd gargle with some
Yes,
garden.
very good. Yes, you know what? Good oral care is helpful. And I also think that people don't replace their toothbrushes often enough. So I would say replace your toothbrush. You could even pour a little of the mouthwash or some of the oil on it. I sometimes will put one drop of wintergreen on before I brush my teeth and go around my gums, and I'm confident that does something to the microbes that are in there. You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, so keeping healthy prevention is really good, and then if you get it, you get it, but maybe you can lower the symptoms or reduce them. And Christine saying, "Wonderful show, good passing along the hand sanitizer rather than the germs. Why not?" Yeah,
Right.
I mean, keep a few extra in your purse and just hand them out or in your pocket. These are really easily. I'll put the link to them on here too, so that people can get them really easily.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, because people could take a couple of drops of and put it in water and do it as well. I think that there might be a small amount of some kind of like sterile alcohol in there with it that's also purifying. Um, and of course, we talk about this a lot because On Guard is one of our favorites. But if there was a study done where they diffused it in a hospital and then they would swab the walls and the light fixtures and things like that. And what they discovered is that after 30 days where it was diffused 15 minutes a day, they couldn't swab and find any infectious agents like staphylococcus or, MRSA or whatever horrible things you would imagine getting in a hospital. And then when they let it go again for 30 days and they swabbed again, all that stuff was back. So, just think what it can be like to maybe, run the diffuser for 15 minutes a day in your bedroom or in the bathroom or in the kitchen.
Right.
I like to go over the doorknobs, and I also like to go over the, the mouthpiece of a telephone, anything that might be shared or handled. I also like to periodically kind of wipe this down. I'm told that iPhones carry so many germs.
Oh,
I almost don't want to know because this comes with me everywhere, every bathroom I've ever been in, etc. And you know what I mean? A lot of people do that. They go into the bathroom and they talk on the phone. So it's not just me, or they're texting or whatever. I do wash my hands.
with people. You can go ahead and put your thoughts in here. What do you think about that?
It is. Anyway, the point being, why not get a little On Guard on this situation?
Why not? I love it. And so On Guard is a proprietary blend made by doTERRA, and they've also made all these spin-off items that we can use, like the sanitizing mist. I put the link in the chat, and also the mouthwash that you can rinse. I gargle with it as well.
And wonderful. I have a cookie jar full of little
throat drops,
lozenges, and these are delicious. So they actually make 3 kinds. They make an On Guard, they make a Breathe, which is a blend that is good for opening the airways and the nasal passages and all that, and kind of cooling, mentholated, a bit pepperminty,
calming. Yeah, it's very good for if you're very congested. It'll help. That, like you said, the mentholy. You can just almost smell it when you think about it. The vapor rub there that you do.
This is so good. They also have a ginger if you're having kind of an upset tummy. Mm-hmm. And, peppermint on its own is amazing for opening the airways. Just breathing it straight from the bottle can be enough. But you certainly can also put some in a bit of hot water and take it to soothe your stomach. Mm-hmm. And just, you can put some in the water and let the steam, and you can do this with On Guard as well, just inhale the steam, put a towel over your head or something, and that steam will help open your passages. And, the other things that kind of work along the same vein are like Douglas fir, which you would not take internally. I think the other furs that might be helpful are, let me see. Actually, rosemary is also helpful for that. It's got a little mentholy bit in it, chemistry. So don't worry, if you're going to use the oils on your chest repeatedly, which you would do if you had a cough, let's say, do be sure to dilute them in a carrier oil because, that's the fractionated coconut oil, which is so great because it's not that greasy and it absorbs really easily. It's unscented on its own. I had a terrible cough 2 years ago, and I was so grateful to use the essential oils. They really, really helped me get through it. It was so bad that I had to prop myself up to sleep so that I could breathe. I had a really stuffed head and I was coughing and it was agonizing. It was so hard to sleep. And congestion, like mucus was coming up. I know this is disgusting. I'm sorry. TMI. After a week, my skin had become very sensitized to the oil. It was almost too much. I had to be like, no oil, you got to take a break from the oil on your chest area, but it really, really helped.
Yeah.
Um,
You bring up a good thought here is that you're always monitoring yourself for what feels right with the essential oils, and you're adjusting as according to what your body says. So the oils, we're not here as scientists. We're not here as diagnosticians. We're not here as prescribing anything. We're here as saying what's worked for us, and you might want to try it, but listen to your body. If you have a reaction to it, that's a good thing to pay attention to and honor.
right. I mean, that is the ultimate in self-care, by the way, is responding to the signs that your body is giving you. I mean, keeping so for example, so most head colds begin with a sneeze, right? You're like, achoo, oh, what was that? Dust? Something's
Good.
in the air, and then it happens again, achoo. And then you're like, oh no, I'm starting to drip or whatever, right? Like that is the moment to do an intervention, not waiting 24 hours. That is the moment to
Yes, pay
start
attention.
drinking fluids, using the essential oils, isolating yourself, resting, going to bed early. You can just sometimes right there, your body will take care of the situation if you give it the support that it needs, right? So that kind of mindfulness and alert responsiveness, I think, is so critical this time of year. When we're also susceptible.
And this is what I like about having so many resources on hand, whether it's the gargling with this or the beadlets. We have these great beadlets. I think you mentioned them.
Yeah, I've got them here.
Yeah, and they are just teeny, weensy, weensy, teeny things you can keep again in your purse along with the sanitizer, and it's just really helpful to have these resources. Yeah, look how small that is.
It's a single drop of oil, basically, in
But
a miniature little. Oop! I just squeezed it too hard. A miniature.
and it has this explosive effect in your mouth. Like we have them in both On Guard, which is great for the protection here, and then peppermint for your breath freshening and also opening up those airwaves. So I keep them handy. If somebody at an event says they're not feeling great, I'm like, here, can I spray your hands and can I give you some of this? I think you'll feel better. Or would you like a lozenge?
Yeah.
Each of those things are really handy to keep on hand. But then if I didn't have any of those, I usually have On Guard in the blend handy, and you can make your own hand sanitizer. You can drop in a glass of water and gargle. So there's like all kinds of things you can do. And if you forget, come back and watch our stream here because
Right.
lots of ideas for you. I mean, the breathe
So
blend is really great. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So in addition to what you could diffuse, or wipe your surfaces with to kill germs, you could also try tea tree oil or melaleuca, as some people know it, and that has a very antiseptic effect as well. If you don't have breathe or peppermint handy and you do have eucalyptus, fantastic. I mean, I actually love the smell of eucalyptus. I take it to the my local sauna in the YMCA that I go to because to me it smells like going to the spa. And also I think, oh, I'm in the sauna. I don't know who. I mean, they clean it once a day, but a lot of people go through there. Dozens of people go through there. Fortunately, it's at a very high heat. It's like 180 degrees. So a lot of germs are just getting knocked out by the heat, of course. But still, circulating air, sharing the air. And the other thing that so how do I say this? Okay. Functional medicine is a kind of integrative medicine philosophy that says that the body has a burden on it. So, for example, you're breathing an exhaust fume from the cars down the block, or dry cleaner fluid that's still off gassing from your jacket, or that you picked up, or you ate the wrong food, or you came in contact with a particular microbe or germ, somewhere, or whatever. all these things put together, or you didn't get enough sleep, combined, it places this burden on your body. And at some point, the burden is too heavy and your body succumbs and it goes into a condition that's less than optimal, which could be a head cold, right? If your immune system breaks down. So the functional medicine philosophy is take off burdens, and then your body will naturally do what it normally does, which is restore your balance and bring you back into an optimal condition. So if you're dehydrated, drink water. If you're tired, go to sleep. They're great oils to assist with sleeping. Roman chamomile, bergamot, serenity blend is wonderful, lavender. And, if you're not eating correctly, correct your eating. Get exercise, get sleep, blah, blah. So the essential oils that have a lot of antioxidants in them, the lemon, the wild orange, lavender has a lot of antioxidant in it.
Cool.
And also clove. Clove is a wonderful one to diffuse in your environment. And I like to mix it with something else. Beautiful flavor. Light, you don't have to do it overwhelming because it could sting your eyes, but just a drop or two with some orange is amazing. It just smells fantastic. So those kinds of things that assists your body in so many ways.
Yeah. There are so many options. It's up to you. What is most important to you? Do you want to have lots of options? Do you want to have a one go-to remedy? Do you want to have just a couple of things that you can use for multiple things? I love how you talked about the eucalyptus for breathing, as well as your spa or at your gym. You put it. What do you do with it exactly? Do you have it in a spray bottle or?
So, because I go to the sauna and it's not steamy, I either have to put it in some liquid and put it on the coals to make them steamy, but usually what I do is I apply it topically. So I might bring it in the bottle, but then I just put it on myself,
Yeah.
And I usually will ask permission if there's anybody else in the room with me.
Do you feel like
because
a sauna today?
That's just good manners. And usually people will be into it and they might want to drop themselves or whatever. But I just put it I put it around here because I know that as I sweat, it will rise up.
Yeah. You can put it on maybe a wet washcloth is another idea.
Right. You could do that as well. Yeah.
So depending on how sensitive you are, what works for you, what you bring to the gym, that's really lovely. And it's also good for if you're healing from something, you're sanitizing a little bit the air, not just giving other people air. By the way, I have this little rant to do on, are you contagious? If you have symptoms, you can be contagious. So if you're still coughing, if you still have a congestion, I instead like to tell people how close to normal I am. So I like to say I'm about 97%, 97% back to normal,
Got it. Yeah.
kind of thing. Because you don't know if you're contagious.
That's right.
It's really nice to know that you're feeling better and therefore you think you're not contagious, but I've gotten colds from people who said they're not contagious. So,
it's an interesting thing because how would you know what the incubation period is, right?
That's right.
This is not precise. And there are many times, have you ever had a cold that was really bad and you got better and then you got bad again? Like there was one year, a couple of years ago, when I had the same freaking cold 3 times in a row. It was so annoying. It was a lot. It was more than I almost psychologically could handle. I had no choice. I had to handle it. But at the end of that, I was like, never again.
Yeah. But the thing is, be mindful of other people and mindful of yourself that even though you think you're not contagious, you may be contagious.
And also, be aware of who's in your household because little kids who go to school or daycare are picking up absolutely everything. And then they've got the little grimy hands on you, and they're like, the well-mannered thing now is to cough into your elbow, I think.
Right. It would be
Um,
nice if lots of people did that.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely like, I just cover my whole face,
Hmm. A lot of people wearing those masks now. I don't think that's such a bad idea, actually, especially if you feel. I tend to be very sensitive to picking up stuff. Number one, I don't have kids. Number two, I don't have tonsils, and I really think that has something to do with me being more susceptible to picking
Interesting.
up stuff. So I am a little bit paranoid. I don't hug people because I've gotten colds after hugging people. I'm like,
Yeah, it's if
go
it's
right on their hair where they've been coughing, and it's like, okay, great.
if it's flu season, I think it's even fair game not to shake hands if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Yeah.
you can just say I'm getting over something and I don't want to spread it or whatever.
Or I ask
Take
people,
the
it sounds
onus
like you
on
have
yourself.
a cold. Oh, I'm not contagious. I said, great. I'm glad you think that. I'm going to just be extra cautious. And
Right,
I,
like, turn
yeah,
your
air
head.
hug. Mwah, mwah, air kisses, air hug. Love you.
Right,
Don't love
right.
your cold. Don't want your cold. Keep it to yourself. So, yeah, anyway, that's
Yeah,
one way to prevent it.
so a cold can move from your head to your throat to actually for me it usually starts throat, head, chest. And that's bad. When it gets to the chest, I'm like, uh-oh. This one's going to last for a while. Then worst case scenario, also in the stomach, right? Although I don't mind those one day things where it just burns through your body and your body's like, reject it.
That's not
But
really a virus. That's kind of like you caught some sort of bacteria
it
that
might be
needed
a virus that's so bad your body's just like out,
reject.
reject. For that, I highly recommend taking a peppermint capsule. um,
Or
just
sucking on a ginger lozenge or something.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. And again, also think about creature comforts. You're a little animal. Burrow into your bed. Keep your nest clean. Change if you've been having a head cold. Change your pillowcases frequently. Don't keep reinfecting yourself with the same stuff. Or if you have a fever and you're sweating a lot, change your sheets. Just you're going to feel so much better on clean linen. If you have access to laundry in your house or your building, just use it. And you can throw a little On Guard in there with that, or a little bit of put a little bit of wintergreen on a what do they call it, a woolen ball or something that you throw into your dryer with your stuff, and it's just gonna
Fireball.
a dryer ball. There you go, clever name.
What's really nice is so a lot of the doTERRA line is ingestible. So we were talking about the ginger drops. You're talking about the peppermint. We have the breathe lozenges. We have the On Guard lozenges. We also have On Guard soft gels and beadlets. So,
And
you know,
touch sticks. The
yes.
Breathe and the On Guard come in the pre-diluted.
And those are not right? You don't ingest.
No. These are
Those
not
are just for your
expired.
hands. That's an alternative to the sanitizer we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
that On Guard sanitizer. My favorite, if everybody carried one of those around and actually used them and offered them to their friends every time you sat down or shook somebody's hand, hey, nice to meet you. Would you like one of these? Or I just spray it, lots of going on. People actually will appreciate that. I was on an airplane a couple months ago, and the woman took out her wipes and she offered me one, and I thought
Oh,
that was
that's very nice.
it
Yeah.
was lovely. And then I took out my On Guard and I said, would you like some of this for you? Since you're paranoid anyway. And she
Right.
was the one who said it. I'm not criticizing her. I think it's awesome. She was paranoid about catching it because I am the same. So
I would have made a really bad joke at that point. I would have said, "I'm not paranoid. I'm a sociopath."
I'm not a sociopath. I'm just paranoid.
I'm not a sociopath. I'm just paranoid. You wish I was
We have too much
paranoid.
fun here.
Yeah.
But hopefully we armed you with things to prevent your colds and work towards getting back to greater health, because that is the whole idea here. And to help you do that, to get healthier, to feel good. And I know this is a tough time of year for people who are around others, and you want to hug and kiss your friends and family and the kids, and and the minute I just do that, I know I gotta double up on all my on guards and anything
It's
else I can
funny. I'm looking at the background that we've got on the studio here for this session, and it's lavender. And I think I would be remiss if I let you sign off without saying one or two words about lavender. So, lavender is extremely antioxidant. It's also very calming. And if you didn't have On Guard, but you had lavender around, it would also do some antiseptic work. Most of the essential oils are antiseptic and antiviral to some degree. And the reason this is so is because that is the chemistry that the plants need to stay alive. So what the plants are doing is gifting us with their chemistry that they use for their life, which also works for our lives. So it is a beautiful thing about nature and being part of an ecological system that is so intelligent. So really, if you only had lavender to put on your hands before you shook hands, that would be okay too. It would be helpful.
be supportive for sure. I love the
Absolutely.
lavender. I love using the oils to be just an energetic support
Mm-hmm.
from the power of our senses of smell is really amazing and shift your energy, your emotions. We're going to talk about that, I'm sure, on another show. But we're here if you have questions, if you want to add your thoughts here or let us know what you appreciate about essential oils. We'd love to hear. This is a collective and a collaborative. Stephanie and I, we love working with you to create your perfect mix to prevent the colds and the coughs and treat them and work with them. And obviously we don't have cures and stuff, but we have support. And I tell you, if you want to just lessen the intensity, a lot of these things can help. And or prevent it potentially, like you said, that
Or
study.
at least make you feel happier.
Yes, I love smelling orange just because it makes me happy. The wild orange, or the tangerine, or the clementine, or any of the citruses. The lemon. I was cleaning my floor the other day with some lemon because it gets that sticky stuff off like that. If you ever
Yeah.
tried to get sticky stuff off your floor, even with soap, it's like a nightmare. But with lemon, it just, and I had sticky stuff on a doorknob from like electrical tape, took it off, like just whoops.
Oh, that's great.
Like a commercial, like just
I
wipe
love
it
it.
off. Anyway,
It wipes, it cleans, it decreases,
it does.
and it smells fresh.
Smells divine. Yes, it was like lemon and lime. So we can help you in any way. So just feel free to connect with us here, either on Facebook at Women Essential Entrepreneurs, womenessentialentrepreneurs.com. If you liked anything you heard about today, feel free to take a look at mydoterra.com/transform today, or just contact Stephanie or I to help you out in making a package. We have all kinds of ways to save money on these oils too. So we love helping you put together the right bundle that's going to get you the best deal, and depending on the specials of the month. So please be in touch and ask your questions. We are here for you.
I
right.
love it. I love it. Well, have a wonderful week, people, and do your best to stay healthy and happy.
And we'll be back with you for another edition of Women Essential Entrepreneurs, Entrepreneur Essential Oils Monday. So have a great, healthy week. Bye.